into all that. Okay, now we're going to get into the part about shadows and highlights. So what I do for shadows and highlights is I go down here. Well, yours will probably be on top. It'll probably look like this. I just have it the other way around. So you're going to go into the adjustments panel. If you don't see this panel or any of these other panels that I have up, you can go to Windows and you can turn it on and off. There's adjustments. It's in alphabetical order. But yeah, that's it. So yeah. And then, yeah, curves is what we want. Okay, if you bring this, you want to do it probably about the center and bring it down. We'll kind of do it kind of big, kind of extreme. Um, you want to change, I always change the name of the layer, shadows, because we're making it darker. Then I choose the layer mask, which is this white block right here. If you hit Control I, it'll invert it. If you hit this button right here, it'll do the same thing. It's the invert button right here. If you have the properties panel for your adjustment layer up. Okay, and then I'm going to do another one, but I'm going to go up. And this is going to be the highlights. This is probably a little highlights. You don't want to go too crazy because it's going to look very, very unnatural. So yeah, about like that. I'm going to name that a highlights. Sometimes I use multiple highlight layers just depending on how much I need for what I'm working on. So it's totally up to you. Okay, then I'm going to introverse it again. Oh, make sure you got the layer mask. Control I to introvert it. Now, same as when we were cutting this image out, black will stay how it is, and white will make it come through. So let's start with a shadow. And I'm just going to collapse that so I can see what I'm doing. What I want to do is make a kind of a shadow from the hair along the face and underneath the chin right here. So what I do, there's two ways you can do it. You can take the brush and you can paint right on it like so. And if it's, maybe that's a little bit too, that's probably too much, but if you want to go back and erase it, you just go to black and that's why I don't like hard brushes for that. Ooh, went back a little bit too much. It's okay. Um, let's make this brush softer. Maybe not completely soft, but softer. Okay, so I need to get white again. And my dual brush again, I accidentally hit. Okay. Like so. Okay, so then what you can do is switcheroo back to black. And you can kind of taper this in. And also go up in here in the hair. And kind of... Now, another thing you can do is go to the properties panel over here. And you can feather it and it'll give it this more, this edge will be less rough. It basically makes it softer. It's not so hard, as they say. So yeah, that'll give you that. Make sure I'm on it. And probably go in here like, about like that. About like that. Looks good to me. Maybe come in here a little bit more. Now, another way you can do it, this is how I'm going to do it for the chin, is to grab your pen tool. Okay, pen tool is not as daunting, especially if you have feather going on. It's not going to be as difficult. So you just want to go around the chin, make a point like right there, and kind of bring it out right here, about here. It's really not that hard. If you hit Alt and go to the point you were just in, it'll clip that angle. Because if you don't it'll give you that. It'll make a curve because of this handle. Control Z and then Alt and clip it and just bring it around like that. I'll do it like this. Light's coming from this way, so the shadow should look about like that. And then what you'll do is you'll fill it with the background color right now because white is our background color. And that'll give you a really awesome. Then you need to go back and delete the path. And see, bada bing, bada boom. I got a nice crisp shadow, but it's still got a softness to it. You could actually do this on another layer if you wanted. And so that's pretty much all I would do for. You could go in here and you could do all kinds of shadows for the shirt, but it's kind of got some. Here if you want it to, you could just go crazy. I just think that sometimes people will do a little too much of the shadowing, but it's my personal opinion. So that's all I'm going to do for right now for shadows. And then highlights is pretty much the same thing, but what I do, I usually put that's black, a little spot on the nose, and then like the upper part, well, I'm going to feather this. It's probably a little bit too much. So what I'll do is bring this down just a little bit and probably make this softer, like completely soft. Yeah. Do a little bit of highlight on the cheek right there. Maybe right there, and then usually do one like right above the eye, right there, and maybe the chin a little bit, and the ears. The ears are actually going to collect a lot of light, like that. Not too crazy with it. You might want to do a little bit up here too. It's really just up to you. And that's pretty much it. You can keep adding. I mean, it really just depends on you. You may want to you may even want to make it a little bit, that's probably too dark, but you may want to do another curves, maybe with a little darker, but not too dark. Introvert it, and you want to do it underneath here, like so, to give it sort of a sunken in effect. That is another thing you could do. But that's the quick, easy way to do shadow and highlights. So yeah, like if you had your hands in the image, like let me pull it up. This image right here that I'm pulling up, I did a lot of shadowing because the hands were up. You can see the shadows here. I did with the pen tool, like I showed you with the under chin, and I just made shapes that I figured that the shadow cast would do, like here on the ring. You just have to think about where the light's coming in at, like the light's coming from here, so your shadows, you just got to think about that kind of thing. It's pretty easy. And like you in the shadow in the background, which is basically a copy of the cutout, just warped to give me a shadow with a colored overlay of black and some opacity. But yeah, so that's pretty much shadows and highlights and how to do that.